What is up, tube users, and welcome back to another episode of Z2A. Today we are diving into Warhammer Vermintide. This is the only Warhammer game that I have. I've never really gotten into the Warhammer series. I know there's a ton of different games, and it's kind of one of those series that it looks fun, but there's just so many different games, so many different genres even in the franchise itself that it's kind of overwhelming. But I had a friend who has played this game and just enjoyed it, so it was on sale for like $5 or something, so I picked it up, and I actually had a lot of fun. We went through a couple missions, and just hack and slash, slaying out a bunch of rats is pretty fun, actually. I really enjoyed this game, and I'll definitely come back to it at some point. But yeah, there's a lot of good in this game and some bad. We'll go over that in a little bit. But yeah, this is the only Warhammer game that I've played, and just diving in without really any knowledge, any any knowledge of the entire franchise or anything. It was interesting, and I definitely had fun just playing the game on its own, just going through slaughtering hordes of rats and decapitating them was super satisfying. And yeah, I definitely think I will check out other Warhammer games. So if any of you guys are fans of the Warhammer series and have any suggestions on other Warhammer games, I would love to hear them, because there is so many, and it's just one of those things that the reason I never got into it is just because it's a plethora of different games, and it's like I don't even know where to start. I'm not really into the lore necessarily of these games. I know there is like some story and stuff going on here, but I was just mainly in it for the gameplay, and the gameplay aspect of this game is a lot of fun. So yeah, let's go over the good things that I liked about this game. I loved how simple everything was. It kind of felt like I was playing like a version of Left 4 Dead, where it's just slaying hordes of enemies. And then you just have the simplicity of you have your primary, your secondary, a heal, a potion that gives you like a buff of some sort, and so like a throwable, like a bomb or something that you can pick up, and that's your entire inventory. But then it gets more complex after you complete a level. You'll get like crates and stuff that have different weapons, so you're not just locked to what your class has at the start, which was pretty cool. Most of it is just swords, and I guess there are some like archery and guns and stuff like that, but none of it really feels that different. Just in terms of killing enemies, everything kind of just like takes one slice to die, unless it's a boss or something. But it was really fun, really satisfying. I'm not usually into like hack and slash games like this, but this was definitely a lot of fun. Just in terms of graphics, like just seeing just these humanoid rats get decapitated was super awesome. Just like slaying 10 rats at a time, decapitating them all at once was super cool, and just filling your screen with blood of your enemies is also super cool. I kept thinking that like I was getting low on health with all the blood that was on my screen. I'm like, oh, do I need to heal? No, it's just the blood of my enemies. So that I really enjoyed that. This is definitely a game that I could see myself just playing some like heavy metal, like Raining Blood by Slayer and stuff like that. It's super fun. And there's also, there's a whole like block and parry mechanic kind of in most sword and board games, so there is some complexity to the fighting, but most of the time it's just kind of waves of mindless zombie like creatures that you're slaying, which is fine and it's fun, but we'll get into the bad parts of it a little bit. I did like all the special zombies were kind of unique. You had like a Gatling gun I guess they're not zombies, they're rats. You had like a Gatling rat. You had, I mean, right here we faced a boss troll, which the boss fights were interesting. I mean, they're pretty easy. I mean, we're just playing on normal, so it was all fairly easy. But yeah, and I loved. There's different heroes and stuff that you can play, and I really loved the mechanics of this guy. At least for his starting weapon, he has 12 shots and muskets, and I thought he just like the muskets themselves had 12 shots. No, he actually has 12 muskets on him, and he's pulling them out, firing 12 shots super quickly, which is really cool to see, especially if you're just watching him. But that was super satisfying. And yeah, I really enjoyed this class. I don't know how any of the other classes play, but I forget what this one was called. I think it goes off the names because each character is like a different class, and they don't like specify the class. It uses more like a I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was super fun to play, and I really enjoyed it. This game, the best comparison that I can give is like Left 4 Dead. It just kind of has that feel. Obviously, there's more to it than that. Like there's like shooting enemies and stuff. Like in Left 4 Dead, it's all just zombies, right? I mean, I guess there's some spitter zombies and stuff, but it has that same sort of feel where a lot of them are just mindless zombies, and then you have some special ones, you have some boss fights and stuff, and you're just kind of going through levels, which kind of have like a story to them. So it definitely has that feel, but it's more hack and slash rather than a shooter, which Left 4 Dead is mainly shooting. I think there is some melee weapons, but I can't remember. But that's the best comparison, and I do think that this game kind of lives up to that. The graphics are good, especially I think this game came out a few years ago, and yeah, really good. And especially with all the enemies, it was running pretty smoothly for me, which was nice to see. So I would definitely say if you are like a fan of Left 4 Dead, this is definitely a good alternative kind of game to that. It's more swords and stuff, more melee combat rather than shooting. But there are some some shooting mechanics and stuff. I mean, my secondary is the pistols, and you find a good amount of ammo that you could probably use that the entire way, but it's hard to get all the ammo that you need. Let's go over some of the bad. First off, so after you complete a level, you get, I guess they're loot boxes that contain like different upgrades for your character. I really don't like loot boxes in general. It was all free and stuff, but there is a lot of downloadable content, a lot, and like I kept getting ads for, oh, you need to buy this to do this. So just getting the base game, there was just a lot of ads that were kind of annoying to get through. So that was a downside. It didn't have it much. It wasn't like playing Destiny right now as a free-to-play player. Like, there's definitely enough content in the base game of this that I didn't have to worry about having to buy all this DLC, because there's a lot of downloadable content, and there's cosmetic microtransactions and stuff like that, which is fine, but I don't want to be bombarded with it, and I didn't really feel like I was super bombarded, but there was definitely some times where I was just getting waves of ads, which is kind of annoying. And I don't know if it was maybe a bug we encountered in this level specifically. I cut most of it out just because it was kind of boring, but at the end, it's kind of just like a survive while like a thing is activating, and I would imagine you're supposed to fight waves of enemies, but the waves came incredibly slow, and it was like one special zombie or special rat, whatever. I don't I don't know what to call them. We'll just call them rats. It was like one special rat at a time. There was some waves, but it wasn't anything that was overly difficult. Obviously, we're playing on normal difficulty, so it shouldn't be difficult. But honestly, this last part, like it's right here that we're just fighting through waves of things, and it took as long as the rest of the level, just waiting for like one or two special rats to appear and stuff. Like it was ridiculous. So I'm hoping that was a bug. I mean, we played other levels and there wasn't any like real downtime, but this level had a ton of downtime, and it was super annoying, especially for my first time ever playing. Just having this like annoying downtime that literally took as long as the rest of this level was just really frustrating. And the other thing is, so I just played with the rapier here, and I played a few games after this and had different melee weapons. I was kind of disappointed though, because like the animation obviously for the different weapons was different, but it all just kind of felt the same. There was no uniqueness to the melee weapons. Obviously with the guns there was uniqueness of how they fired and stuff like that, and that was interesting, but it was disappointing to say the least that of how unsatisfying, especially when this game is mainly melee combat, how just ununique all the melee weapons that I mean I played with like 2 or 3, so it's not like I got to experience a whole bunch, but of those 2 and 3 weapons it all just felt the same, and there wasn't really anything different about them, which was disappointing. But other than that, I really did enjoy my time playing this game. The first level was definitely kind of boring, but playing some other levels definitely picked up the pace and definitely made it more fun. So it'll be interesting to see how difficult this game gets and stuff like that. So I definitely want to try out some of the harder difficulties. And yeah, I mean, this game is definitely a great alternative if you're a fan of Left 4 Dead, which, I mean, Left 4 Dead is an absolutely great game. This is more melee heavy, and I know there's other Warhammer games that maybe are more gun heavy, but I'm not sure about any of those. This is like the only one, so I did like the melee combat. I loved the animations of just slaughtering hordes of enemies. All of that was super fun. And yeah, I definitely underestimated this game. I didn't think it was going to be that great, especially knowing how many different games. I kind of just always thought that the Warhammer games were just an oversaturated mess. But this was fun. This was fun, and I definitely want to check out other Warhammer titles. So if you guys have any suggestions for other Warhammer games, I will definitely be interested in checking those out. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Comment any other Warhammer titles that you like, and I'll definitely check them out. Make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.